Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope you are all well. Sorry about the lateness. My daughter just woke up, so I just had to put her back to bed, unfortunately. And we are back again with another match preview. This time, Europa League. And to be honest with you, I think you will all agree, as Arsenal fans, this is probably the most important game of our season. There's no question about that. We are currently sat in 10th in the league. This season has not been good enough. We've already lost 10 games. Um, yeah, not great. Not great. Although we did get a very good victory against Leeds United at the weekend, 4-2. Aubameyang is back to scoring goals, what we like to see. And it's not very often you see Arsenal score 4 goals in a game either. The only other game that we scored 4 goals in this season was against West Brom. And very important game tomorrow. Very, very important game. Of course, we take on Benfica. It is probably one of the toughest ties that we could have got. Benfica are a very good side, and but they're not the Benfica of old. And I've been saying this for a little while. At the moment, Benfica are currently sat fourth in their league. They've played 19 games, they've won 11, drew 5 and lost 3, sat on 38 points, which is quite a big gap between them and Sporting Lisbon, sat at the top there, and even them and Porto as well, a few points behind. So they're not having the best of seasons either. And as you see there, guys, they're only 7 points in front of a team that Arsenal have already played this season. I think in the Europa League. I think it's this season. It might have been last season. You'll have to let me know. Vitoria, and of course, we beat Vitoria both times in both of them games, and it was a pretty standard, easy victory for us. So, hopefully, bearing in mind that Benfica are not that great, we can dispatch with Benfica pretty simply and move on to the next round. However, if you guys all remember rightly, the round of the last 32 is where we ended our Europa League campaign last season, obviously going out to Olympiacos on away goals. Everybody will remember Aubameyang bringing us back into it with an absolute incredible overhead kick. And then literally within minutes, Olympiacos went up the other end and scored again. And then, of course, Aubameyang missing that absolute sitter that normally Aubameyang would be putting in the back of the net, if we're being real. So hopefully we can get past Benfica. Hopefully we don't make this an harder task than what it should be. Benfica, however, do have a few players that we really need to keep an eye on. They can be a dangerous side. Now, one of them players is this guy. His name is Darwin Núñez. Some of you may know of him, some may not. He was recently signed for Benfica from Almeria. He's 21-year-old Uruguayan striker. He's played 18 games this season. He scored 4 goals and created 6 assists, which is not a bad return for a 21-year-old striker. And he's definitely, certainly someone that we need to watch out for. He's certainly a player who can be very dangerous. And I worry about him being up against the likes of David Luiz, who we all know can be exceptional in some games, but then he can turn into Krusty the Clown as within the click of a finger. Also, Rob Holding as well. He's looked a little bit off recently. So it's going to be interesting to see him up against our centre-back pairing. Of course, some of you guys may also recognise this guy, Everton Suarez. Now, he's 24-year-old, Brazilian. He's played 17 games, scored 3 goals, and created 4 assists, which again isn't too much of a bad return considering the amount of games that he's played. And the reason why you guys may well recognise him is because he was once linked to Arsenal. He was once linked to Everton as well. Funnily enough, his name's Everton and he's linked to Everton. But we was quite strongly linked with him one summer. And yeah, it looked like we was going to be making a move for him. It never really happened. You know how it is, Arsenal fans. We get linked with every single player under the sun in the transfer window, and we never end up signing them. And this is an example of that. Now, we know that he's a very pacey player, very tricky player, and he could cause issues. He could cause issues, and he's another dangerous player that we need to keep an eye out for, certainly. And hopefully he doesn't have too much of a good game against us because, depending on which side he plays, left or right, obviously, I think we are going to be playing Cedric at left back, although Kieran Tierney is back in training. However, he has only had 1 session with us, so maybe we will stick with Cedric. Then he may cause Cedric some issues, and if he plays on the left-hand side, we already know that Hector Bellerin is not up to the task. His defending is shocking, and to be fair, the 2 goals that we conceded at the weekend were Hector Bellerin's fault for being caught out of position once again. We cannot make that mistake. Yeah, believe it or not, as much of a poor season Benfica may look like they've had, we've had a very poor season as well. Let's not forget that. And Benfica are still a good side. They're still a good side, but I fully expect us to absolutely swipe these away. And if we can't do that, then we don't even deserve to be in the Europa League, let alone the Champions League, So he is certainly another player that we need to watch out for. Another 2 players that Benfica have is their 2 centre-backs who I'm sure everybody will recognise. One of them being this guy, Jan Vertonghen, of course, formerly of Tottenham Hotspur. Very good centre-back in his time at Tottenham. I do feel like he had lost his legs a little bit, and the pace of the Premier League started to catch up with him. And eventually he moved on. He decided not to sign a new contract, which is a good move, really, because we're going to win anything at Tottenham, let's be real. So he's moved on to Benfica, and he's not doing too bad since he's been there either. And with him being a former Tottenham player, he may well have a point to prove against Arsenal, especially. However, I feel like if we play with Aubameyang up top, which I'm hoping that we will, Aubameyang's pace will certainly cause him some issues. And I can't wait to see that matchup. Because Vertonghen must be about 33 years old now, 34 maybe, coming towards the end of his career. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out as well. Even Bukayo Saka against him, that would be, And of course, the other centre-back who plays alongside Vertonghen is formerly of Manchester City, Nicolas Otamendi, Argentine international. I think we was also once linked with him as well. Luckily, we didn't sign him because he weren't good enough for the Premier League. He weren't good enough for Manchester City. He's moved on now. He's at Benfica. And like I say, he's playing alongside Jan Vertonghen. He's not doing too bad. But again, he's another player who we can target and hurt, certainly, especially with Aubameyang and his pace. And a Bukayo Saka as well. And whoever Mikel Arteta chooses in the starting 11. Now, as I said, Kieran Tierney is back in training. But he's only had 1 session. So I don't really expect him to be starting. I'd love for him to start, but I don't think it will happen. However, Thomas Partey, we was all hoping would be back for this game. He hasn't even travelled with the team. And of course, everybody will know the game is not being played in Portugal. The game is being played in Rome, a neutral venue because of COVID restrictions. And the second leg will be held in Athens in Greece. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interesting because nobody really has home advantage. Not that that really exists anymore because of COVID and no fans, but nobody really has home advantage at all. You know, both having to travel to Rome and then travel to Athens as well. It's going to be a difficult one for Arsenal because we, of course, are travelling to Rome, and then we've got Manchester City at the weekend. Manchester City, who are absolutely flying at the moment. And then, of course, we've got the second leg in Athens, and then we've got Leicester City in the Premier League. So it doesn't get any easier for Arsenal, that is for sure. But this is the biggest game of Arsenal's season so far, in my opinion. To be honest with you, we got the win at the weekend. And although it tightens things up in the table, in and around the mid-table sort of area, and let's be real, mathematically, we are not out of the top 6, top 4 contention. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see us finishing any higher than 8th, if I'm being completely real. And the aim is, and should always be, for Arsenal fans, to at least qualify for the Champions League. Of course, we all want to see our team compete and win league titles. But right now, we've got to recognise where we are. And to me, we need to be champion. We need to be playing in the Champions League again. And if Mikel Arteta can achieve that by winning the Europa League, then fair play to him. But again, I don't know whether we can win this competition. I do think we have a chance, but we have to be on top of our game at all times. And to be honest with you, for me, this takes priority over the Premier League for sure. Of course, some of you might not know too much about Benfica, so that's why I come with a few stats about their players and stuff. But also their manager, Jorge Jesus. He's managed pretty much every single Portuguese team there is going. Sporting Lisbon, Braga, you name it, he's managed them. This is the second time that he's managed Benfica. But also, last season, he was the manager of Flamengo in Brazil. So, of course, Pablo Mari was signed for Arsenal from Flamengo. So he will, of course, know all about Jorge Jesus. And like I say, they've played 19 games, 11 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses, and they currently sit 4th in their league. They've been knocked out of the Portuguese version of the League Cup. They made it to the quarterfinals of the Portuguese version of the FA Cup. And yeah, it's been a pretty poor season by Benfica's standards, that is for sure. Now, before I move on, because I'm going to keep this pretty short tonight, guys, because I've not long finished work. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I'm moving house soon. But of course, I wanted to keep the content rolling to you guys. I will be doing a watch along tomorrow. I will be doing a match reaction, of course, as well. So make sure you come and tune into that. But of course, before we get into my starting 11 and score prediction, I just wanted to go through a few of your comments as well. So let's have a look. Let's see who we have got in the building today. We've got Chris. Chris says, hi, Brandon. I'll be here for the match preview as I watch Porto versus Juve in the Champions League. That'll be a very good game. I watched the PSG Barcelona game last night. Very, very good game. Kylian Mbappe, mate. We could have had him. We could have had Kylian Mbappe, but once again, Arsenal didn't want to pay him money, and we let him go. And now look at him, absolutely tearing it up. What a player he is. Looking forward to tomorrow. game, we need to focus a lot on the Europa. Exactly, Leo. Big up yourself, my friend. Super Chelsea is in the chat saying Porto are leading with Juve. Be scared of Benfica, boys. Yeah. Let's put it this way: if we turn up into that game and we turn around and we act like we're just going to brush these aside, we will get battered. It's as simple as that. Benfica are still a very good side. Let's not make no mistake about that. But I do fully expect us to win the game. When you look at our team on paper, and the players and the quality that we have compared to Benfica, we should be brushing these guys aside. And, I want to see us go a couple of goals ahead. Bearing in mind that although this is played at a neutral venue, this is the home tie for Benfica. So we need a couple of away goals in this game to ease the pressure on us in the second leg. Let's put it that way. But big up yourself, Super Chelsea. Hi, Brandon, and to everyone on this chat says, Chris, Porto beating Juve 1-0. Lauren is in the chat. How are we doing, Lauren? Big up yourselves. I am not confident versus Benfica, says Chris. I don't know whether I am confident or whether I'm not. It's hard. I mean, I'll look at it like this. Benfica have just come off the back of a draw against a team that I've personally never heard of before in their league. And we've just come off the back of a 4-2 win against Leeds United, who, as we all know, are a very good side, although they've just come up from the Championship. So the confidence that we can take from that win at the weekend, hopefully we can take it into this game. I do worry, though, because we have this sort of thing happen all the time at Arsenal. We go into a game after we've just won, and then we start a little bit lethargical and not quite with the pace of the game in the first half. And that's where our issue lies. We always start games slow, and we can't afford to do that against a side like Benfica because it will backfire on us. It's as simple as that. We need to be making it to I expect Arsenal to make it to the semi-finals of this competition at the very, very least. If we get knocked out at this stage again, Arteta has to be sacked for me. I wanted him gone anyway, but he has to be sacked for me, because let's be real. Our aim should be Champions League football, no matter what the squad is. I know that's pretty easy to say. And yes, we do have deadwood at this squad. And yes, we do lack in certain areas as well. But for me, we should be getting better out of the players that we have. And if we can't get past Benfica, mate, we're further behind than what I thought. But big up yourself, Chris. Hello, Brandon. Hope you are doing well, says Alexander. Big up yourself, Alexander. I'm all good, mate. Hope you are well as well, mate. Chris has just said Vittoria was last season, Brandon. Big up yourself, Chris. I couldn't remember myself personally. I know we played Vittoria a couple of times in the group stages. I couldn't remember whether it was this season or last season. But yeah, you are right. It was last season. It was last season. Big up yourself, Chris. Chris and Lauren having a little bit of a chat amongst themselves here. I'm good. I was right about Barca PSG last night. Got to see some goals. Yeah, Lionel Messi. Great penalty. But then after that, what did he do? You can tell the guy's not happy at Barcelona, and I think he will move on. It's pretty inevitable, to be fair. And PSG under Maurizio Pochettino, they look like a different side already, very attacking. And like I say, Kylian Mbappe, what a player. Even Verratti, Imagine Arsenal with Verratti. That'd be, a dream. And we are only dreaming because it's never going to happen, let's be real. Matthew in the chat here. Big up Brandon. Big up yourself, Matthew. Big game for us tomorrow, and then of course we've got you at the weekend. I'm not looking forward to that at all. I'm really not looking forward to that. The rants will probably be out in full effect again, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'm writing Arsenal off too soon. Who knows? Who knows? You never know with what's going on this season. You never ever know. You're spot on. I watched the match. Mbappe is world class. Easily world class. Easily world class. No question about it. Hi, Chris. No silky Ilkay, but I think we should win the game. Who have Manchester City got tonight? I can't think who they have got tonight. It's not Atletico, is it? Who's got Atletico? I can't think. Honestly, my brain's somewhere else. I'm sure that you will win. Matthew Gundogan is being rested, but should be back for the match versus Arsenal. Of course he will. Of course he'll be back for the match against Arsenal. You know? And it's just typical as well that Kevin De Bruyne is back from injury and he comes back against Arsenal. Mate, you know, every time. And this guy, he always tears us a new one as well, you know? And him and Gundogan, with the way Gundogan's playing at the moment as well, and Phil Foden, mate, I'm frightened for the weekend. I really am, especially if we don't have Thomas Partey back. Yeah, I can just picture it now. Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Foden against Xhaka, mate. Nah. Yeah, probably Gundogan rested because of a knock, and Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench too. Exactly. Aguero, yes, Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench, and Aguero should be starting as well. Aguero is also on the bench. You are the champions elect for me, mate. Certainly. If Man City don't win the league this season, it's a disaster for them. You know, they're 13 points clear now. They should easily win the league. And do you know what? Are they favourites for Champions League? Are they favourites for the Champions League? I think between them and PSG, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Not champions elect yet. We will fight until the end, of course. I would be extremely happy if we advance versus Benfica, but if we advance and we end up facing Man United, Leicester, or Spurs, or even Milan, we have no chance. I don't know. There's always a chance. This is the thing. You know, Manchester United are not playing very well at the moment. So out of all of them teams, I wouldn't mind facing Man United or Milan, to be honest with you. Leicester or Spurs, I don't know. Jose Mourinho just, you know, as much as we take the piss out of Mourinho, he has our number. It's as simple as that, you know. I think we've only ever beaten Mourinho a handful of times, which is embarrassing, really, considering Mourinho has been in management for years. And Leicester are just, you know, Leicester are exceptional again this year. And can we start talking about Leicester as proper top 6 team now, you know? Because obviously they had the season where they won the league. And then since then, they've consistently finished in and around the top 6. So surely we need to start considering Leicester as a top 6 team now, surely. But big up yourself again, Chris. There are many top sides in the Europa League that I haven't even mentioned apart from teams above, so it's very difficult. Real Sociedad have a great squad too. Yeah, exactly. Lauren says Chesney with an absolute howler. Porto go 1-0 up. It's the type of goals we concede. Once an Arsenal player, always an Arsenal player. Hashtag shambles. Big up yourself, Lauren. I like that comment. That's brilliant. Yeah, and do you know what? Chesney has been very good for Juve. since he left Arsenal, taken over from Buffon. And Buffon's come back. I don't know who plays more games. I don't really watch Juventus personally, but like you said, once an Arsenal player, always an Arsenal player, and you'll always have that in your locker for definite. You're moving house, Brandon. Good luck, mate. Yes, I am moving house. Of course, as you all know, we have got a little boy on the way in April. At the moment, we live in a very nice house. Don't get me wrong, but it is only 2-bedroom. And we need the extra bedroom. We need the extra space for the baby, of course. And it's nice as well. It's nice to not be stuck to one place. It's nice to be able to move about as and when you can, a bit closer to work as well. So I don't have to get my ass out of bed too soon. I can get up a little bit later, not have to worry about the amount of fuel that I'm spending in my car either. Although luckily I don't own the Corsa VXR anymore. Moved on now to an Audi. So a bit of a family car instead of a boy racy car. But big up yourself, Chris. I am watching Porto versus Juve on beIN Sports HD 11. Guess who is one of the guest pundits? Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger does a lot for beIN Sports. He's been on there quite a lot. I see the little video clip on Twitter of him talking about how he had all these restrictions when we first moved into the Emirates, how we had to sell a player every year in order for us to be able to pay off the stadium, and all these strings attached, and how he actually said that although it was the beginning of the downfall for Arsenal, he was quite proud of his work in them years because of the consistency of finishing in the top 4 every year, knowing that we needed to get Champions League football, knowing that we had to sell our best players and bring in very average players. You remember Arsene Wenger finishing in the top 4 with the likes of Sonogo, bloody I'm trying to think now, Park Chu-young and the Nilsson, Walcott, bloody all of these players, So yeah, he does a lot for beIN Sports, Arsene Wenger. He's on there a lot, and it'd be nice if Arsene Wenger did one day bring out a book where he does talk about everything, talk about all of the restrictions that he was under when he was Arsenal manager. Talk about the board, give a bit more of an insight to the fan base. I don't think he will do that, but it'd be nice if he could, of course. We've got Hassan in the chat. How we doing, my bro? He says, do you think Egal's £100 million Jack Grealish statement is ridiculous? I don't know, as Arsenal fans, I think we can all agree that we'd love to see Jack Grealish at Arsenal. Will we spend 100 million to go and get him? I'm not too sure. And not only that, if, for example, the going rate is £100 million for Jack Grealish, there's so many teams that would be interested in him, so many teams. You've got Barcelona, for example. They're in a lot of debt at the moment, so maybe not Barcelona, but they are doing a bit of a rebuild project, a bit like us in a way. You've got Manchester City. You've, of course, have always got a lot of money. Not that they'd need him. I don't personally think Man City would go in for him, but the likes of Liverpool might do, Manchester United, maybe even Chelsea. How Chelsea like to spend their money and go and get players. Even Real Madrid, Jack Grealish, he could play for anyone. He really could. He's that good. Whether we will get him or not, I'm not so sure. I can't say no for definite because, let's be real, nobody expected us to spend £72 million on Nicolas Pepe, but we did. So it's clear to see that the money is there. We can do that if we want to. It's just whether we do, I personally feel like we'll probably go for someone a little bit cheaper, maybe like a Hossim Awar, like who he's linked to in the summer. But I'd love Jack Grealish. I tell you what, if Jack Grealish came to Arsenal, that would make my season. We know then that we have got somebody who is world class. Top baller, and if you can build a team around him, Saka, Martinelli, Emil Smith Rowe as well. Yeah, who knows? Benfica is a Brighton kind of level team. If they were in the Prem, I expect a win, but I don't expect anything from this team. Bottle FC, Arsenal fans deserve better. 100%, Leo, I agree with you. We deserve better. I'm not sure about the Brighton sort of level. I think maybe a bit more than that, maybe more of a... I'm trying to think now. Maybe more of a Wolves type level, I would say, but yeah, it's certainly going to be a tough game, mate. It's certainly going to be a tough game. And like you just said in your hashtag there, we have a tendency of bottling things as well. So you just never know what Arsenal's going to turn up, but hopefully we can get the job done. Hassan said, did you see David Twitter with Arsenal near signing 11 versus Chelsea? What a team that would be with if Arsenal, if Arsene Wenger had got them. Yes, I know quite a lot of players that we could have signed that never did. You can chuck in there all sorts of names. Jamie Vardy, Kylian Mbappe, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. Jesus Christ, can you imagine? Right, if we had pulled that off, if we had signed Cristiano Ronaldo ahead of Manchester United, because we were interested, and also in that summer got Lionel Messi at the same time, from the Barcelona youth team, because we wanted Messi, Piqué, Gerard Piqué, and Fabregas at the time, but of course Barcelona turned down the whole Messi thing. Piqué ended up going to Man United, and we ended up with Fabregas. I mean, Jesus, what a team that would have been. Honestly, what a team that would have been. Big up yourself, Hassan. Chris says Everton away. Everton away. Am I trying to... Everton game in hand. Oh, right. Yes, Manchester. Oh, I thought they was playing in the Champions League. I might be wrong. That Leeds game blinded some Arsenal fans. If Leeds defenders were actually defending, they easily could have taken that. What worries me about the Leeds game, right, is the fact that at the end of the day, we won the game, right? So there ain't no complaints really. And again, we was exceptional in that first half, pressing from the front, pressing players into mistakes and everything like that. The only thing that worries me a little bit is the fact that we conceded 2 goals so quickly. And then luckily it wasn't a penalty, but imagine if that was a penalty on Bamford and then they scored the third, as easily as we can score 4 goals, we can quite easily concede at the other end as well. And it's lucky that it was 4 goals and not 2, because otherwise, a game where we played exceptionally well, we would have only got a point from it. And we need to sort that side of things out, People complain about us not scoring a lot of goals this season and our defence being very good. But I just think it's a mixture of the two, When we defend well, we never seem to score goals. But then when we score goals, our defending is shocking, in certain parts of the game. And a lot of the time it's because players fall asleep, they're not fully concentrated for the 90 minutes. And, the likes of David Luiz and that are just, they're not good enough for that sort of thing. And why we are giving him or talking of giving him a new contract again, I'll never know. I really will never know. Yes, the guy has leadership qualities. Yes, he's probably a very good guy in the dressing room, in terms of helping out the youngsters, giving the morale a boost. But he's 34-year-old. We need to move on from David Luiz. And even though he's 30, even though he's on his day he's not a bad player, he has moments, and too many moments, where he turns into an absolute clown. And he costs us points. Let's not be fake about it. He costs us points. He gets sent off too much. And we need to move on from him, And if I see him here again next season, because we've given him a 1-year contract, and Saliba is again not getting into this team, I'm going to be furious, because Saliba is the future, David Luiz, at 34-year-old, should be a backup option, not a first-choice mainstay in this Arsenal team. And that's another thing as well, guys. Let's not forget, right? Mikel Arteta might have had a little bit of an insight on this Benfica game, because both David Luiz and Cedric Suarez once played for Benfica, so they will know a little bit about, the team to a certain aspect, how they run the club and certain things like that. So that'll be an interesting thing as well. Matthew says the Everton game in hand. David Luiz to set up Sterling again. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, Whenever we play Manchester City, David Luiz turns into a clown. It happens far too much. And if he's starting in defence, do I even bother? Do I even bother to watch the game? It's that bad. We got S Featley TV. Stephen, how you doing, mate? He says, hi, mate. Big up yourself. Doing great content. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate the support. Guys, make sure you go and check out Stephen's channel if you haven't already. It does a lot of stuff on there for Arsenal, a lot of stuff for the Formula One as well. And of course, the liver awareness disease podcast as well. And maybe, you guys could go and learn a thing or two about liver disease. Of course, I know Stephen suffers with that. You can maybe go and learn a thing or two. So make sure you go over to Stephen's channel and hit that subscribe button, or at least check out a few of his videos if you haven't already. Big up yourself, Stephen. Joe says, hi, mate. Hi, Joe. How we doing? Hope you're well, mate. Chelsea are doing very well at the moment, of course. Benfica will be a struggle due to our form this season. Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that one. It can go one way or another, really. And it depends what Arsenal turn up. It depends what Benfica turn up as well. If Arsenal turn up and it's the Arsenal that can't be asked in the first half and just, stroll around the pitch thinking that it's going to be an easy game, we will lose. It's as simple as that. If it's the Arsenal that turned up in the first half against Wolves and the Arsenal that turned up against Leeds at the weekend, we should be slapping these all day long. It's as simple as that, really. Stephen says also, hi, mate. Congratulations on the baby news. More sleepless nights on the way, of course. Of course. I like torturing myself, mate, We've pretty much just got really over like the sleepless sort of nights, My little girl was very good when she was little in regards to sleepless nights. She pretty much slept through from 6 months onwards, and we rarely woke up in the middle of the night. She'd wake up for a couple of feeds, but that would be about it. Whereas I've just got a feeling that this time, this one's going to be a little nightmare. I really have that feeling, and I don't know why. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Haaland on fire, £75 million release clause, going to be a bargain. Erling Haaland, mate, what a player, what a striker. I think personally he could be, and he probably already is, the next Robert Lewandowski. Lewandowski's numbers are still unbelievable for his age, but Erling Haaland at the age of 20 or 21 or whatever it is he is, because I know he's a very young player, to be putting up them numbers. He's got a lot to his game as well. He's not just a finisher. He's quick. He's strong, powerful, tall. He can hold the ball up. He can do everything. And a £75 million release clause, I'll be surprised if someone don't snap him up. I really would. And I tell you what, it could be City. Aguero's getting on a bit now. He's very injury prone. He's not, quite the player that he once was. Gabriel Jesus is okay, but he's not that, star-studded striker, really. Erling Haaland at Manchester City. Oh, you might as well just give him the league every single year. Joe says, "Bro, I hope Arsenal can beat City, and I want the title race still on." Is the title race still on for Chelsea? I don't think it is. I think the best that Chelsea can hope for is probably top 4. Certainly, I expect Chelsea to finish in the top 4. No question about it. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that I think Chelsea will probably finish second this season. But as regards to catching Man City, mate, if you caught Man City and won the league this season after the torrid start that you had with Lampard, mate, yeah, that'd be an unbelievable season for Chelsea. Let's put it this way. We have a watch along for the match tomorrow, Brandon. Of course I will, mate. I will be tuning in, doing a watch along, and hopefully, it'll be all smiles like it was at the weekend. Hopefully, Arteta will pick the team lineup correct. Hopefully, we go on and win this game by a couple of goals. Hassan says, Maddison to Arsenal. I can see that happening. 60, 70 million pound. Maddison to Arsenal. I would take James Maddison. Of course I would. If I had the choice between him or Grealish would probably just edge it. But certainly, yeah, I'd take James Maddison Arsenal all day long. In terms of it cost us 60, 70 million, I think you're looking more upwards of probably 80 million, Leicester are a team that are very hard to bargain with. They got 80 million pound for Harry fucking Maguire. So they're not going to let James Maddison go for anything sort of short of that, I wouldn't have thought, considering that he is their main creative player. And he's been very, very good since he's joined there, I think if we're going to want Maddison or Grealish, we're going to have to pay a lot of money. Can I see it happening? I'm not sure. We once had a chance of signing Suarez from Liverpool, of course, yes, but Arsenal weren't prepared to spend £1 extra. Yeah. We all remember that as well. The 40 million plus £1. What an absolute joke that is. I don't know. I don't know. At least we don't do that anymore. Lauren says Leeds were wide open at the back. Can't see Benfica being wide open. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't really watched too many Benfica games. In the games that they have played, they haven't defended that brilliantly. I do feel like we can cause them a lot of issues. I don't think they'll be as wide open as Leeds, but certainly we can definitely cause them issues. There's no question about that. Again, it just comes down to what Arsenal turns up. Is it the Arsenal that turns up that can't be asked in the first half, strolls around the pitch? Or is it going to be the Arsenal that turned up at the weekend? I kind of feel like it depends on us this game. You know, I feel like we're probably a slightly better team than Benfica. We have slightly better players, and we should be beating these. It's as simple as that for me. But of course, big up yourself, Lauren. I appreciate the comment. Strip Bear says, "Wow, this bitch simp." Strip Bear. Yes, Brandon, Man City are away to Everton in the Premier League tonight. It is Man City's game in hand, and Everton have 2 games in hand. There you go. I'm Dobe. Fair enough. Chris says, I agree with you, Lauren. Henry is set to be Bournemouth coach. Interesting. Thierry Henry, Bournemouth coach. I can't say that I heard that news personally. Chris is saying hi, Leo. Yes, I heard the news about Henry. Interesting, that one. Thierry Henry, Bournemouth. No. It's still Porto 1, Juve 0 at 40 minutes. Big up to you, Stephen, says Chris. LouTube is in the chat as well. How we doing? Says big up Brandon, you're a real one. Big up yourself, mate. Thank you very much. And congrats, bro. Thank you very much, LouTube. I appreciate that. Brandon, you look like a kid. How old are you? Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm actually 24, 25 in August. So not quite a kid, to be fair. You know, I'm getting old now. But yeah, a lot of people do say that I look very young considering I'm 24, 25 years old. And I do get ID'd a lot as well, you know. I remember when I was 19 and yeah, my missus was like, you know, back when you used to watch movies with your missus and stuff like that, and you had to go and buy the latest DVD, you know, none of this Netflix and, you know, or it was very rarely about anyway. And there was this film out, I can't remember what film it was now. And she was like, oh, can you go and get it from Tesco's and we'll watch it tonight? I really want to watch that. I was like, all right, no worries. Anyway, this DVD was a 12 DVD, right? So you had to be 12 years old in order to purchase the DVD. And I got fucking ID'd. At the age of 19, I got ID'd for a 12-year-old DVD. But there you go. Big up yourself, Hassan. Good luck to Chelsea, says Matthew. Chelsea realistically second. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Chelsea will finish about second. Half time in Portugal, Porto 1, Juve 0. Bit of a surprise on that one. City 1-0 up, and of course, none other than Phil Foden has scored the goal. I do not look forward to playing against him at the weekend. Chris says Seville 1, Dortmund 3 at half time. Well done, Matthew. Foden is in top form right now. He certainly is. Brandon, would you take Mason Mount? I would. Yeah, I would take Mason Mount. Do you know why? Because the guy always pops up with a goal, you know? And the big criticism of our midfield is we do not score enough goals from midfield. I probably would take Mason Mount, you know? He definitely wouldn't be my first choice, but I would take him for definite. England's 11 is mental with squad depth. Southgate will have to do something good. If they don't get to a semi-minimum, he gets axed. No excuses. Yeah, exactly. You know, he's got so many decent players to pick from now. Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, James Maddison. You know, you've got your Henderson in there as well. You've got the likes of Dele Alli's and all them lot as well. You know, he's got such a good squad. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, we have got a very good squad. The only one area where we're probably slightly lacking in is goalkeeper. I personally would give it to Dean Henderson, from, of course, Manchester United. I think he had a pretty good season at Sheffield United last season. I think he's a decent enough goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford's just, for me, he's a very average goalkeeper. He pulls off some nice saves, but he's also very, very, he doesn't command his box very well. His distribution's a bit shit. And yeah, Pickford is he's a proper weak link for us. I feel personally. Chris says, just saw Foden's goal versus Everton. Great goal. It's a compliment. Look, 16. Keep it up. Big up yourself, Hassan. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Chris says, 24 years old, getting old. No way, still so young. I'm getting old, mate. 53 years old in April. Where is my walking stick, lol? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. What I would say to that, Chris, is I'm 24, but my kids and my missus make me feel older. You know, they drain the energy out of you sometimes. Nah, she's all right. She's all right, bless her. And so's my daughter as well. And hopefully this one won't be so bad either. But the grey hairs are coming, guys. They're coming. They're coming already. And yeah, but big up yourself, Chris. 53 in April. Bro, oh my God. Dave, seriously, bro, you are 24 years old. I thought you were 30. 30? 30? Fucking hell. Now we're just going the other way, Joe. 1-1. Everton have scored. Good God. Callum. Callum. Oh, fuck's sake. That's workmate there, you know. Workmate, you fucking. Hassan says Pope deserves a shout. Yeah, Pope probably does deserve a shout. Alexander says, what is your problem, Callum Woods? Fuck you now. Oh dear. You've started something now, Callum. Sorry, bro. Keep up the good work. Big up yourself, Callum. Pickford, English, Kepa, hit or miss. Can't take a ticking time bomb in a European final. Exactly, Hassan. Not gonna lie, I would. If you asked for some alcohol or ID me if I asked for some alcohol or cigarettes. Well, I'll take that as a compliment, mate. I'll take that as a compliment. I think Tesco's were just taking the piss that day, though. 12-year-old DVD? Seriously? Anyway, guys, we've been going for nearly an hour now, so I suppose I better get into my starting 11 for tomorrow's game. Now, of course, we're going to have to go with Bernd Leno in goal for me. You know, he's our number one goalkeeper, and we've got to stick with him, I feel. Bernd Leno in goal, although he did turn into a clown against Wolves. You know, he's been pretty decent for us this season, and yeah, he's the number one goalkeeper, and he has to start for me. Now, hopefully, Kieran Tierney will be back, and that is why I'm going to go with Cedric at right back. He's levels above Bellerin when he plays at right back. He can attack, he can defend, I'm not so worried about attacks coming down his side if Cedric is playing, because I know that the guy isn't a great defender, but he can defend. You know, he doesn't get caught out of position as much either. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Hector Bellerin. You know, for me, he's the first name on the transfer list in the summer, certainly. Centre-back pairing, I'm going to go with Rob Holding. He had a bit of a rest in the last game. I don't feel like it was necessarily like an injury or anything like that. I do feel like Mikel Arteta has just given him a rest. He's played a lot of football this season. He's arguably been our best centre-back, although still not good enough what he's been putting out. But I feel more comfortable with him in the centre-back position than the likes of David Luiz, that is for sure. And then next to him, we're going to go with Gabriel. Gabriel didn't do too bad in the game against Leeds, I don't think, although he didn't really have too much to do. He's just starting to come back into it now. Hopefully he's starting to pick up the pace of the game again, because I feel like he sort of lost it a little bit. And hopefully he can have a good game. Everybody's going to be asking as well, where is Pablo Mari? You know, the guy hasn't played a minute of football since it was announced, that we have to pay Flamengo an extra £1 million for every game that he plays from here on out. Strange one, that one, you know, because the guy has been very good in the games that he had played up until then, or up until he got injured, should we say. And so that'll be my centre-back pairing, Gabriel and Rob Holding. And then at left-back, it's got to be Kieran Tierney. I feel like we've missed him an awful lot, especially in an attacking sense. You know what Kieran Tierney offers you going forward. He's a great crosser of the ball. You know, he rarely gets caught out defensively either. He's probably been one of our best players this season. Unfortunately, though, the guy keeps picking up injuries, and it's quite worrying, you know, because he seems to be a very injury-prone player. I don't feel like he will play tomorrow. I personally would play him tomorrow because I feel like this game is more important, even than the Man City game, purely because of where we are in the league table. Because I don't feel like Mikel Arteta will risk him tomorrow, you know, especially with the fact that he's just coming back from a long layoff, really, you know, considering he only had a calf strain to be out for 4 weeks, 5 weeks nearly. That's a long time for a calf strain, you know. And it's going to be interesting to see whether he starts or not tomorrow. Midfield. I'm going to go with wherever he is. Granit Xhaka. Look, the guy we all know is a liability. He's another one who would be straight on the transfer list for me in the summer, because he's not good enough. Although in recent times he's been a lot better, and I feel like putting Thomas Partey next to him has made him better. He's probably learning off of Thomas Partey in training as well, which is making him a bit better. He hasn't really been exposed too much in recent times. I like the fact that he's starting to try and go forward with the ball rather than sideways or backwards. But again, like David Luiz, we know Granit Xhaka can put in some good performances, but then he can turn into an absolute clown. It just depends what Granit Xhaka turns up on the day, I suppose. Next to Granit Xhaka, we're going to go with Dani Ceballos. I thought he was very, very good against Leeds. Linked the play between defence and attack very well. You know, him, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe were very, very good in the Leeds game. And he looked like he had a point to prove as well. You know, he's not played an awful lot of football in recent times, but maybe he was playing for his place in this game. And I feel like he's probably earned it from that performance. But again, Dani Ceballos, he has 1 or 2 good performances for Arsenal, and then he turns into Danny spinning top, spins around, does nothing with the ball, plays it sideways, backwards, any which way but forwards. There is talk that Mikel Arteta wants to make his transfer permanent. I kind of feel like if he does that, then he's wasting a lot of money, personally. 25 million pound, I think is the quote for him. We could get better, If you add another 20 million pound to that, and spend another 20 million pound, maybe you could find a player like a Basuma to go next to Thomas Partey, which would be levels above Dani Ceballos, if we're being completely real. But yeah, for this game, Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka in the midfield. In the number 10 role, I'm going to go with Emil Smith-Rowe. Like I said, very, very good again against Leeds. And it looked like them 6 days or 7 days that we had off before that game did him the world of good. And it was great to see him back firing again. Obviously, setting up that goal for Aubameyang, the 3rd goal. I'm not sure if it was a shot or a cross. A lot of people are saying, oh, come on, give him some credit. It was a cross. But who knows? And who cares, really? Who cares? Again, like I say, very, very good. Works very hard. Presses players. And yeah, he's been very good since he come into the Arsenal side. So it has to be Emil Smith-Rowe for me. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with a Nicolas Pepe. He was left out of the Leeds game, benched, and he was very unlucky to be left out of the Leeds game. Let's put it that way. He's been very good in the last few weeks. Hopefully that doesn't knock his confidence too much. Hopefully he was just rested for this game, because like I say, we paid £72 million for the guy. And in recent weeks, it looked like we were starting to get a bit of consistency out of him. And hopefully he'll start this game and carry on as he has been doing in recent weeks. So I'm going to go with Nicolas Pepe. It was a tough decision, really, for me, because I felt like, do I go with Pepe or do I go with Odegaard? I don't think I'd mind either, to be honest with you, because Odegaard, again, was very good against Leeds. But once again, Odegaard is just getting used to coming into this team now. He's getting used to playing with his new teammates and stuff. He has played European football for Real Madrid. And maybe it might be a game for him. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think in this game, you set up a little bit more reserved than what you do against Leeds, personally. But it'd be interesting to see what Arteta does. And to be honest with you, if he picks Odegaard over Pepe, I wouldn't be too disappointed. But I do feel like Nicolas Pepe deserves the chance. On the right, Bukayo Saka all day long. This kid is an absolute dream. He really is. What a player, and what a player he's going to become. He's only getting better with each week that goes by. Exceptional against Leeds. Exceptional. At one point, he turned into like a Messi, dribbled it round 3 players, in and out. They just really could not get the ball off of him. And then he set up Hector Bellerin for his goal. He won the penalty. He should have had another penalty as well given to him. Just absolute pure brilliance from the kid. And, he is an Arsenal star for now, and both now and in the future, what a kid and what a player this guy is becoming. And I fully expect him, and I fully believe that he will have a very good game against Benfica as well. And then up top, we've got to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. There's no question about it. Before the Leeds game, I would have said Lacazette all day long. Lacazette all day long. Aubameyang's been crap. Aubameyang's done nothing, you know. But then he reminded us at the weekend what he does bring to this team. Goals. Goals is what he brings to this team. Without his goals, we are where we are, you know. He bagged a hat-trick at the weekend. His first hat-trick in the Premier League for Arsenal. His second hat-trick for Arsenal since he's joined. His first one came against Valencia, I believe, in the Europa League 2 seasons ago now. And yeah, this guy has to start. He has to start. He's hot property when he's on form, you know. And mate, if he can put in a performance again, like he did against Leeds, which I believe he possibly could do, we'll win this game and go through to the next round quite easily, to be fair, you know. This guy makes a hell of a difference when he's on his game. When he's not on his game, he looks shit. And let's be real, without his goals, I don't really rate him as a footballer, you know. He's a goal scorer, no question about that. But in terms of what he can do and what he brings to the team in the other aspects, is very average. So we need to get this guy scoring goals, and we need to keep him scoring goals when he's on hot form. I'd be very, very disappointed if we started with Lacazette at the weekend. And of course, that leaves quite a strong bench, to be fair. You know, you got the likes of Martinelli, Odegaard, Lacazette, you know. Trying to think who else we would have on the bench. You'd have, for example, Pablo Mari, you know, players like that. A strong bench as well is a good thing, and it's needed, certainly. So that would be my team to play against Benfica tomorrow. My prediction is, like I said, it depends what Arsenal turn up. If the Arsenal of the weekend turn up, I believe we can win this first leg 2-0. I'm going to go with 2-0. If we don't turn up, it's quite simple, really. You know, if we don't turn up, we lose. It's as simple as that. And but I'm going to go with 2-0 Arsenal for this first leg. I did say on Sarcasm City that I thought it'd be 3-0, but nah, I'm going to go with 2-0. I'm going to go with 2-0, and hopefully we can get that win. Where Matthew says, cheers, mate. See you tomorrow. Big up yourself, Matthew. Bit controversial. Would you take Mourinho? I said this in previous streams. Before Arteta got the job, I would have took Mourinho. That would have been my second choice manager. My first choice was always Allegri, but I would have took Mourinho purely and simply because he is a proven winner. Looking at what he's doing at Spurs, I'm not so sure I would take him now, you know, because if you're being real about things, Spurs probably have a better squad than us, or at least player for player, they're probably on par, you know, with each other. And if Mourinho can't get it out of them, I doubt he'd get it out of these players as well. And his style of football is just not that great to watch. Let's be real. Bro, feel bad for you. So many dead players in your squad. 100%. Yeah. And we've got a lot of dead wood to get rid of, for sure. Wow. Porto 2, Juve 0. Jesus Christ. What's going on with Juve? Where's Ronaldo? I rate Lukaku at Inter. If he keeps banging goals, he'll be top 10 all-time scorer for Inter by the end of the year. Yeah, you know, Lukaku was very good at Everton. And then he went to Manchester United and he kind of ruined it a little bit, because although he scored goals for him, he had a lot of chances at Man United on a plate for him, and there was a lot of memes about him wearing Timberland boots and stuff like that, and I always knew that he would sort of kill it in another league. I just don't think the Premier League and the way that Manchester United like to play, especially, was suited to him. So yeah, I'm not surprised that he's killing it at Inter. I'm not surprised at all. Chris says, I agree with your lineup, Brandon. Big up yourself, Chris. Let's hope that Arteta selects this squad. I hope that Willian did not travel. There's no place for clowns in our squad. 100%. You can guarantee that Willian did travel. And you can guarantee that he'll be the first player to come off the bench at the weekend, if he is a substitute. Remember when Arteta told Willian he needed him to win UEFA Champions League? Can't believe he said that with a straight face. I know. We ain't winning the Champions League anytime soon. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Alexander says 2-0 to Arsenal, of course. Chris says, sorry, Brandon, no predictions from me, being over cautious. Fair play to you, Chris. And Super Chelsea says Porto are spanking Juve. Yes, they are. And I think when I've ended this live stream, I'm going to have to go and watch that game, I think. Can't believe it. Juve getting spanked. But there you go. There you go. So, guys, that is it. That is the preview. Big up everybody who's tuned in. Big up everybody who's been watching as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I checked earlier, 350 subscribers now. On the road to 500 subscribers. If we can get there within the next couple of months, I'll be happy. 500 subscribers when I only started the channel in November. That'd be epic. And of course, we all want to get further and further and further. So make sure you, of course, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and slap a like on the video as well. Make sure you share it out to whoever you think might like the content, and get them involved as well. Make sure you're all tuning in tomorrow for the Arsenal versus Benfica watch along. It should be an interesting watch. I'm quite excited. I can't wait for it. And big up everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow.